Good evening and welcome to Monday Night Live. We are here in the garden office. It is pouring with rain and yeah, live from Bridgewater, Somerset. And just going to wait for people to come in, talk about the running or lack of running. There has been exactly no running over the last week. So what can you do? There has been an injury, and I am basically trying to rehabilitate. So we'll talk about that this evening. We'll talk about what I've been doing um, in the absence of running. We'll talk about my physio appointment. We'll talk about my upcoming trip to the States. Hopefully, someone will join me, or else we might end up being on a bit of a whirlwind tour of me just gibbering away to myself. I am going to leave this chat at 8 o'clock exactly to go and have a cup of tea with my good lady wife. We've not really spoken to each other today. Not because there's anything going wrong, no crisis, no dramas. Just that we have both been working and we had dinner, and then I went on the bike and she went and had a shower, and now I've come down here. So yes, I went on the bike and my hair is looking a little bit wet and scrappy because I have just come out of the shower. So people come into the live stream and then they come out. I'm not sure what they're expecting, if I'm honest. They must see Monday Night Live. Maybe they think it's something like Michael McIntyre, and they come in and then they've got this sort of like ugly British guy, and they think, oh, well, that's a bit disappointing. And then they leave. So I don't know. Maybe I need to be playing Minecraft or something. That seems to be a more popular streaming thing to show. I'm just going to get rid of my bookmarks so that I can. There we go. Let's go full screen, actually. Mega. Here we go. So I don't know if anyone's going to come in or not. So I'm just going to cut straight to the chase. I have got an injury which I've picked up in the soleus muscle, which sits behind the gastrocnemius on the calf on my left side. This came up when I was out running last weekend, so 9 days ago. Hey, how you doing? Fresh in from the Arc of Attrition. I want to hear all about this. You are fresh in from the Arc of Attrition, aren't you? I've not got that wrong. Yeah, so injury last Monday, went to the physio on Thursday, attempted a tiny little jog. Yeah, okay. Stuff me. I want to know how broken. I need all the details. Okay. I really wish I could get you live, but okay, you started, I presume, yesterday morning. And I'm guessing that you would have finished, like, this morning? I mean, fair play. So, David has just done the Arc of Attrition, which was, let's have a look. Oh, you DNF'd at Land's End. Was that weather? I mean, this weekend was absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. You did the 100-mile, didn't you? So how many miles did you actually do? Right. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share my screen because I want to capture this, because this is the arc of attrition. So starts in Coverack in Cornwall, maximum time 36 hours. Be running for that long. Let's have a look at the map. That's the oh my word. Okay. Coverack, Land's End, 88 kilometers in. So almost bang on halfway. So for those of you who just joined, it has just done the Arc of Attrition, got as far as Land's End, is absolutely broken. I mean, this just looks absolutely horrendous. If you are in the UK right now, or frankly, actually, if you were in North America as well, I mean, if you're in North America, you're in all worlds of cold right now. But this weekend was hideous. It was windy, rainy, and that is just hill after hill after hill. I would say, I'm guessing Kynance Cove is somewhere around here at 23 kilometers. And I would say that's one of my favorite beaches in the world, actually. But I would say favorite beaches in the summer on a beautiful blue sunny day when there's next to no cloud coverage and probably next to no tourists. I can't imagine it's all that fun at winter. So, folks, the way that these Monday night lives chat, we just we talk about David's been building up for this one for a little while, and I can only imagine it must. Yeah, you must be in all sorts of pain. Was it injury? Um, I mean, 86 kilometers is still a heck of a lot further than I have ever run. So it's incredible. And on a trail in the winter, on a coast path, absolutely brutal. That is insane. Let's have a look. So that was the registrations. Let's have a look at the ARC 100. I wonder if we can get the results. People, do they even have results? They must have. There must be a winner. Let's have a look. Back here, registrations closed, discover the races, ARC. 50 kilometers, marathon distance-ish. That's a little bit more my sort of thing. Still can't find a results page. We'll come back off there. Oh, guys, hands up or just say I if you have or have any desire to do an ultra marathon. I do have a desire to do an ultra marathon, but I wouldn't look as cool as this guy doing it. I probably wouldn't look as cool as David doing it. Yeah, I'd love to do one. I would love to do one. I just don't think at the end of January it really floats my boat. If I'm going to be completely honest, I'm going to stop my share from now. Share the screen. There we go. Come back to here. Actually, that other guy was way better looking, wasn't he? Yeah, longest ever run I've done is 50 kilometers, and that's plenty. I will do an ultra marathon at some point, just not this year. Yeah. So, guys, let's talk about running. Any questions? Any thing that you're trying to achieve at the moment? Let me know. There's a comments, a chat over on the right hand side. If you're watching this after the live, then you can still add comments, and I'll be able to respond to you after the video has published to YouTube. I did a long live on Saturday from my bike. I did in the absence of running, I did 90 minutes on the bike on Saturday, and then I did 3 hours on the bike yesterday, which all pales into insignificance in comparison to David's ultra 86 kilometers. So really, David should be hosting this. Things I have been really enjoying this last week, though, is the bike. So although the physio has said to me, not to run. He said sort of 1 to 2 weeks. Oh, No, let's talk about Loch Ness because it's my PB and my heyday, my glory day, my one heyday. Um, just gotta say, absolutely loved Inverness. I only time I've been to Scotland. Absolutely loved it. I would say, uh, I would say my big tip for Loch Ness is just practice loads on the hills. Pace yourself going down and be ready to grind going up, particularly around, I think it was about 19 miles, where there's just a long, niggling, straight uphill. It just kind of goes on and on and on. I think I do a lot of strength work in the gym, and I really feel like it paid off at Loch Ness. Be prepared to get cold at the start line. I was really lucky, I think, incredibly lucky. People have said to me, "Oh, would you ever go back to do Loch Ness?" And I think the weather was perfect. It was absolutely perfect, and I've heard from other runners who have been and they've been on the start line at 7:30, 8 a.m., and it's absolutely freezing. Um, that it's horrible. I actually did go to maybe Primark. I don't know if Inverness has got a Primark, but some sort of Primark equivalent shop, and bought hat and gloves the day before the race, which I wore and discarded in a bin at about 5 miles. Um, what other tips for Loch Ness? I would say, if I'm completely honest about the support in Loch Ness, it's pretty abysmal apart from the tiny little villages that you run through. So you spend a lot of time on your own. And yes, absolutely. I would absolutely go and run those parts. I mean, if you've got um, a group of you, you couldn't go far wrong from driving out to the start line and doing the first 5 miles, which is first 3 miles or so is really downhill. There are some little undulations, and then turn around and just go back. If you were to do that once a week, it would be mega. I think there's a lot of it that you're just up and down. There was a bit around mile 8 or 9, I think, that was really felt steep and took me by surprise. Um, so you could definitely go and practice those bits. Once you get, I think, if I remember right, getting into Inverness, you hit a big roundabout, and that for me was like a mental battle because I didn't really know where I was and where I was heading. I knew that I was heading into the city, but I didn't know how long that takes. If you're regularly running along those roads, that isn't going to be a drama for you. So the finish is going to be pretty straightforward. But certainly go out and run. I would go and do some of your long runs um, in reverse, just out along that road, that Loch Ness road. I'm guessing that when the road isn't closed, it's probably pretty busy, which maybe that's why people don't go and run it. But what a great race, I would say. Um, with the exception of bagpipes, not a big fan of bagpipes. There was somebody playing bagpipes in Bridgewater Town Centre, which is Somerset today, and yeah, it's even more grating uh, here than it was in Scotland. In Scotland, it was I actually kind of got carried away with that. Like, it was very special and very different. When you just hit, he was playing Popeye the Sailor Man on a bagpipe, which I don't know. No one wants to hear that ever. Maybe it's a traditional Scottish tune. I don't know, but yeah, certainly not in Somerset. We don't need Popeye being played on the bagpipes. Other things to note: they gave bottles of water, which is absolutely brilliant. Yes, double hands for Egbert. as is customary now. I am here. I hope I look less tired than I did on Saturday. Um, very caring is Simon. We're just talking about Loch Ness. I was given the opportunity to talk about the one of the greatest days of my life, the day that I got my PB, never to be matched. Yeah, they had bottles of water, which was absolutely brilliant. Um, can't remember if they gave out energy gels. I took energy gels. I think general rule of thumb, particularly if you're a local runner, um, you just do one hand emoji and then you do another one. It's really easy. But there is a double hand emoji, isn't there? Um, let's see who can find the double hand. Oh, they're very different, aren't they? All very styled. Yeah, I got it. I got it. See? That's why I'm a YouTube. That's why I'm running YouTube like this. I can find the double hands. Yeah, exactly. Hands. Yeah. I am a commercial director. I am. I have no idea. Self-appointed. Um, yeah. What else? Yeah, no, what I was gonna say is if you're ever doing a local race, get people to hand stuff to you on your way. So obviously people that you know. If you've got people that will support you to do that, that is absolute gold. Um, that was yeah. Okay, searching for emojis. When I did Manchester Marathon, that was my very first marathon. I had one of my work colleagues actually, Bun, who has done a couple of half marathons with me. You're getting carried away now. He orchestrated handing over like Lucasade bottles and gels at various different points, and that was brilliant. Loch Ness and every other marathon I've done, I've carried everything on me, and in honesty, it is a pain. In Valencia, I even took fluids, so I took a squeezy bottle of fluids. I would love to have a little crew with me for Valencia next year, this year, to hand me drinks bottles so that I can just like drink and then discard rather than, yeah, just be faffing around carrying stuff because it's all extra weight that you don't need. It doesn't make a huge difference, but it does make some difference. Yeah, very hilly. It is still my PB, 2:45, 55 seconds. Um, The funny thing about Loch Ness is I was training for 2:55. That was the goal. And on the day, probably in fact the week before, I did a couple of like shorter sort of sessions and everything felt good. And I started to think to myself, I think I could get quite a bit faster than 2:55. And I had, if you watch the video, I had Charlie pace me, who lucky he wasn't a psychopath actually, because he invited himself to stay on my hotel floor. And let's just say the relationship was fragile and a little bit strange. But when we had a chat beforehand, he was like, "No, wait, like you won't get better than 2:55." Um, and yeah, just literally maybe like zero expectation. Yeah, felt like I could just go out and run. Okay, I see. I've always meant to ask this. If you're aiming for a time massively exceed it, how do you do it? Do you start at the higher pace? Yeah, so here's the funny thing, right? So there's a Facebook group called Sub 3 Marathon Runners, full of people who are either sub 3 marathon runners or are trying to be sub 3 marathon runners. There's the group's got like 20, 30,000 people in there. So I said I was running Loch Ness because I wanted to get a good for age qualifying time for London. Charlie popped his head up and said, "Oh, I could comfortably run 2:55. I'm great at pacing, so I'll pace you." So um so he paced me. And the plan was 2:55. And probably most of the way through the first half of the race, I said to him, yeah, literally, I just met him through the group. So I've never seen him before, and I've never seen him since. And quite probably will never see him again, I think, in reality. Um, I kept on saying to him, I was like, Charlie, it feels like we're going way too fast here. And he was like, yeah, but you seem okay. I'm listening to like your breathing, and my heart rate was in the 150. So he was right. I was cruising, and we came through the half in about 121 and maybe 122. And at that point, I just thought, huh, this is all kind of clicking. We got to about mile 20, which was this big hill. Charlie did blow up. He got cramp. Um, and at that point, I just thought, well, I've come this far. I just have to keep on going. So I did. Fortunately, you have this big long climb at like mile 20, and then you've got a downhill, then it's flat all the way into Inverness. So I knew that I needed to get to the top of the hill. I just needed to keep things going through until the end. And you can see in the video footage that I capture in the last kind of like 5 minutes, I'm starting to cramp. Probably, yeah, within about the last 3 or 4 minutes, I'm starting to cramp, and basically just kind of made it over the finish line. Max heart rate 182. So 150 divided by 182 multiplied by 100, 82%. Does that sound right? Yeah, yeah. Are you similar age to me, Simon? I presume so. 36. Yeah, I think 150. I think 150 is fine. 36 as well. I mean, that's 8. Theoretically, like your degradation is 1 beat per minute per year. The old formula was always 220 minus your age, but that doesn't really stack up. So because you can train it better than that, but yeah, I would say 150 for you is really top end of zone 2. So that's absolutely fine. And really that's what I was anticipating in Valencia. I really had expected to see my heart rate sit at probably mid 150s tops. But yeah, crazy. Um uh Look, not necessarily. Like you might want to start slowly. I'll tell you what I'll actually do um, rather than just spout BS. I'm going to get the Loch Ness run up on the screen. We've already done one screen share this evening. Let's do another. And we'll just have a look at where I started. The thing to note with Loch Ness is the first 2-3 miles are pretty much downhill. Which it's not, they're not 3 miles because obviously you've got to control your descent, but I think that possibly could skew the heart rate. But if I just go to share, okay, this is my race at Loch Ness. That's obviously pace. You can see it's like really super consistent in the middle. And if I just go down to laps, and I can only apologize that the laps are in point 0.8 of kilometers. That's because I set my watch to beep every half a mile, because in those days I was at half miles. So you can see here, Yeah, first mile 140, then I sit into this 150s for quite a while. And you can see I mean, we're literally like falling down a mountain here. Big climb there. Um, and then yeah, tops out. Gee, I mean, honestly, when I compare this to Valencia, it it vindicates why I was so unhappy with Valencia, because honestly, I was worlds fitter at Valencia than I was here. If I just add a new tab, actually, let's just duplicate that, and uh, share this tab instead, and go back to Valencia. You'll see the difference. It is absolutely bonkers, like really crazy. The kind of like the polarity of two different runs, where I felt so much fitter. Yeah, so 148 first mile. Bearing in mind this is flat, straight into 165, high 160s, low towards the end because I'm literally I've got nothing to give. It's such a different story. It's baffling. Everything was on my side at Valencia. I mean, I had a bug, so that is the explanation. But um, it's yeah, you just never know what's going to happen on the day. Heart rate goal marathon pace, 170 to 75. Um, yeah, Emmy, how old are you? I'm gonna have a guess. You're either um like elite and you're gonna be absolutely hammering it, or you're a heck of a lot younger and 175 is good. I mean, if I'm hitting 175, I said this once on the channel before, and somebody called me out on it. They're like, "No, that's ridiculous." But if I'm hitting 175, I'm like, I am actually dying. That's I would barely even. I mean, if I was to go back to my training, ah, I see, Tom. See, that sounds like a convenient story. That sounds like it's your Thursday night name. Um, yeah, it's 30. I think 35. Um, yeah. So, what pace are you running at that? Yeah. I mean, honestly, the best way to that genuinely, I'm going to stop the screen share there. Um, yeah, the best way to bring your heart rate down is by super low aerobic, yeah, loads of LT1 and below, quite honestly. So funnily enough, I did evening, Tom, and Emmy. I just did 45 minutes on the bike before I came on here, and I targeted between 100 and 110 BPM. I actually recorded a reel about it as to um he loves the double hands. Um, yeah. Um, a couple of things that are going on. Zero, like zero impact, low intensity. You're teaching your body to dip into fat reserves first. So you're training your body to use fat as an energy source. Now, when your heart rate is at 175, it cannot burn fat. It is burning carbohydrate. And honestly, at 175 for me, it's probably going to be dipping into like the phosphocreatine energy store, which you've got about 5 seconds worth of. So, that's sprinter territory. So you're doing that, you're building mitochondria, which are effectively like the engine within your body. You're helping your body to recover. So LT1 caps at 155. Yeah, okay, interesting. I'm just reading, going to do another screen share. I'm halfway through this, and I'm going to put this up on the screen. In fact, what I'll do is amazing. Where did you do that testing? I really, really want to go and do all of this full testing. I can't really justify the money on it. That I spend so much money on running. But at the same time, it would be so good to know. I am coming in with a book recommendation for you. But the book is, it sounds very, very much, Tom, like this would be right up your street, and this might even be what you're doing. But there we go. I wonder if I can post it. Can I post a link here? There we go. It's a book called Norwegian Singles Method by James Copeland. Massively scientific. Cardio keeps you very skinny and malnourished. Cool. February is coming. Which book of bullshit did you read that from? I do about 12 hours of cardio a week and reckon I'm pretty in good condition. Yeah, definitely getting it. In all seriousness, this whole cardio makes you weak is absolute bullshit from the internet. What makes you malnourished is living in a calorie deficit. That is literally the only thing. When you're running, you're burning carbohydrates, or you're burning fat. So long as you're replenishing those, you are able to maintain muscle mass and run. You've only got to look at Nick Bare, Jeremy Miller, PKS runs, the OG, to see that you can carry muscle, be an absolute sex god, and keep running. Anyway, let's not get distracted by trolls. Cool. Next race, Wilmslow half marathon in March. Goal race, Manchester Marathon. Manchester Marathon was my first. M20 Health in Didsbury. I need basically M20 Health Didsbury. I've got some clients in Manchester, so what I need to do is I need to book a trip to Manchester to go and see my clients, and then at the same time do the Nick Bare thing is an interesting one. It's a can of worms. It is a can of worms. Yeah. All right, let's talk about Nick Bare. I've got about 5 minutes before my wife's gonna like go crazy. I think it's really tough. I get, obviously his whole life is the fitness industry. He's got products. I don't. It's like the Liver King, obviously ardently not a drug user, not a drug user. Oh, I am a drug user. So I don't know. It's really hard. I want to see like the purity and the goodness in people like Nick Bare and go, I think what they say is true. I think if you don't have that, the world becomes a really depressing place. If it came out that he was using performance enhancing drugs. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But I would love for it to be natural. I think it is possible to be fast and big. Whether it's possible to train at that level without enhancement, I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting one. So Adam Naylor at M20. Yeah, yeah. I mean, so here's the interesting thing, right? So I listened to a really interesting yeah, I know, but it's like, isn't it a massive gamble? So that's the thing, because as soon as that narrative comes out, and and I've read the Reddits and stuff like that, and I've honestly I've deep dived on it several times, and everybody seems to say, look, there's no way that he's not. But I was listening to an interesting podcast with the guy. Gee, I can't remember who he is, but he's kind of annoying. He's like an entitled rich kid who obviously got bored, became an endurance athlete, has this like podcast. So he was on The Only Way is Chelsea or something like that, made in Chelsea. Anyway, I don't like him just because he just reeks of privilege and entitlement. But he spoke on his podcast about this idea of what he calls the apex athlete. And the apex athlete is somebody that could bench press 110 kilos. Spencer Matthews, yeah, don't like him. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I don't know him, but I don't like him. That's my own prejudgment. So apex athlete is somebody who can can bench 110 kg for 10 reps and run a sub 240 marathon. And according to his internet search using AI, he reckons there could be 50 of those in the world. People that are insane freaks of nature. So, yeah, doesn't surprise me. He comes across as a real knob jockey. So, yeah, does not surprise me. But I don't know. Yeah, the Nick Bear thing, I mean, there's lots of talk at the moment about, obviously, there's a number of like Ethiopian and Kenyan runners recently that have been caught doping. Like, yeah, it's so hard to know when we see people that have like exceeded what we think is possible as humans, and then you then hear that people are taking drugs. Yeah, I think I think the indicator of the I think it's that you basically, to be able to lift I mean, I can bench about 60. I think about 65 for 5. So to get to 110, you are insanely strong. My cousin was a professional rugby player. I was talking to him about it recently, and he was saying that he could probably, I think, do 100 for 10, and he is stacked, but he can't run 5K. So it's so I think it's who is like really, really, really strong physically. Because the bench press is actually, I know we always think, oh, it's just chest, but actually it's a whole body movement. Like you have to engage your core, your legs, like your arms, like chest, back. Anyway, in case you didn't understand what whole body meant. Um, but to be able to do that, but then have the athleticism to run the 240 marathon. Um, yeah, shoulders are bigger than my shoulders are bigger than my chest. My shoulders, honestly, if you've ever run behind me, you'd be able to testify to this. In fact, actually, do you know what? Yeah, deadlift is more important. Somebody actually said to me, my friend Buzz, who appears in some of my videos from Sydney, he said to me running behind, he was like, running behind you, you remind me of Nick Bear. So I don't know. There it is. And I'm not on roids. I just want to say that. If I was, I mean, that's the thing, right? Because that's the other side of this. Like, if you're on roids or EPO or whatever it is, man, like, you would want to be performing way better than, I think Nick Bear's a 2:37 marathon, I think. Nick barely at the gym. Yeah. And they are all barely as well. They're all naked. It's really strange. Really, really strange. I took my top off on the bike yesterday. I felt distinctly uncomfortable about it. I had to put a towel around me just to protect my modesty. Although in the summer when I go on holiday to France, I will always run topless because there's nothing a French woman loves more than a white rose with a flabby tummy and big shoulders. Folks, this has been muchos entertainers. Oh, Joe Appleton, you obviously don't follow me on Instagram because I'm always taking the piss out of High Rocks. There's no way I'm doing High Rocks. Literally no way. Yeah, largely because just they all just prance around with oil on their body, like naked. Just I don't know what it is. It's the most homoerotic sport I think ever, apart from like WWE, and that isn't a real sport. So I don't know. I don't know what that says. Um, anyhow, uh, yeah, so again, yeah, I think it is. It's just like, oh, they just got bored. It's like, oh, what can we do? Let's take our tops off, rub each other down, run around, ski a little bit, row a little bit, not really do anything enough that it's I appreciate it's brutal and a burpee is horrific. I hate them. But yeah, it's just it's a money making thing. At the end of the day, I think it's a money making thing. That's one of the main reasons I don't do very many even running races because I just find that they are a massive commercial thing. And I'm realizing looking at the background with all of my um retired running shoes that I am a sucker and clearly double standard because I spend money on running, but I won't spend money on high rocks. But I just don't want to spend money on high rocks. Folks, we are going to go next Monday. I don't know if we will have Monday Night Live because I am going to be in Texas. I am hoping to goodness that I don't get arrested by an ICE agent. I think being white and ginger of Irish descent, I think I'm going to be safe. But I'm also quite an antagonistic little prick sometimes. And so I just hope that I don't do anything that would put anybody on the wrong side of me in the US because I could see myself getting shot quite easily. I will keep my top on. I am hoping to start running again on Sunday, first morning in Texas. I am being super disciplined in not running as per the physio's instructions. But he did agree that once I got to America, I could run because it was a different country and maybe the injury wouldn't travel with me. So we'll see how we go. I will take it very, very lightly and hopefully get some good footage. And whether we do a live on Monday is all up in the air because it really will depend on my work schedule. So I might do a live just at another time from my hotel room when I get the time, and who knows what that will look like. So, folks, always fun to chat. Do give a like up the top or wherever the like button is. It does kind of help. Do make sure you subscribe so you don't miss these next week. Find me on Instagram. That's where I do most of my posting, and on Strava. And we can all be friends and love each other forever. And once we've all cracked the code for how to become fast runners, we can all encourage each other with that. Have a great week, everybody. Goodbye. He said confidently, trying to find the button. Goodbye.